This stem that I'm using is a stem that grows right up out of the yucca plants right here at camp, yucca. We're going to see that a lot today. Yucca stem is some of the best wood in the forest for fire making. Some of the stems you can collect at the right time is nice and thick. You want to catch them before they get too old and the bugs eat into them too much, because then they have a pithy inside that just falls apart. So you also don't want to use it with anything when it's too green. Green stuff don't burn. I've got the yucca stem there. I started a little hole with my knife, working it there. And I use this piece of spindle wood. This could be the stem of the yucca. If you can find a nice straight one like that, it could be used for fire making. Always want to put your big end down. And if you're going to make fire by rubbing sticks with a hand, not easy at all. I can't even do it all by myself usually. So using a helper on the other side, as I get down, he's over there taking over and keeping it going, constantly keeping that pressure down. Another drill goes back into history is called the pump drill. Would you grab my pump drill and show it? It's right there.
Oh, I see it.
The little board is inside the bone basket. Yeah, the board is right there in the basket, and bring it over.
Basket.
This is called the bow drill. This one's actually the fire making way. You can do the hand. You can use the pump drill. Yep, bring it over. Yep, there we go. This is the pump drill. This is real cool. Let's get our hole a little bit bigger. Popped out. I've got all different size drill bits over there when you check it out later. And they just pop off. That's called socketing, and it goes back to caveman.
Guess I'm hired at native.
Okay, we've got the spindle here. I like to use as a nice dowel wood or a nice straight piece of that yucca. Okay, when I come across them. For pushing down and for my bow is a bone of an animal. It's a rib bone of a buffalo. Here's one made of wood. Okay, that fits right on there, that string. The string could be your shoelace in a survival situation. I like to use a nice thick piece of leather. The leather seems to grab onto the wood better. To push down, I could use the burl of a tree, maybe an oyster shell, maybe one that I've cut out of wood, or maybe a rock one. Here's my good rock one there. I like that one the best. We'll use that one. Note my arm going all the way, locking around my leg, keeping my wrist from wobbling. It's going to be locked against my wrist. I'm going to center my weight right over the top, and I'm going to use nice even motion. Not pushing too hard, keeping the tension on my bow, using my string. And let's get that rhythm going there. We're just going to get the fire kind of, or the spot ready, okay? Now to make the fire, we've got to make a cut.
Area directors, any of your 130 classes that are
Get that on tape?
today must be turned into the
You'll notice on this one, there's little cuts on the side. That allows the dust pile to fall into one spot. When that dust pile gets in that spot, it gets real hot, 800 degrees hot. And at 800 degrees, natural combustion. The pile of dust, which is the two sticks grinding, have combusted into a coal, and it'll be there glowing at the bottom, hopefully waiting for me to collect the coal and blow it into a fire using my little nest. The fluffiest pine needles that I can find along the trail.
Now I forgot to show them that trick on pine needles.
And if I don't like the fluffiness of it, I can grind them with my boot over against a rock or something, or a tree, just sit there and scrape them until they become fluffy. Some cattail fluff, I like to use that to get going as well. Catch those cattails before they open up and drop all their fluff, and they make real good good things to keep around when you need to get a fire going. Just little pinches of that, and that fluffs up to be a nice little ball.
Awesome.
Okay.
Justin?
We're also going to
Yeah, Justin Benson.
use a leaf. That's going to be used to collect the coal with. And I want that tension just right. Everything has to be perfect. If it stops spinning and the string is still going back and forth, you're just going to burn up your string. So if it stops spinning, stop and figure out what the problem is. Posture has a lot to do with it. Practice has a whole lot more to do with it.
Sawgrass Pro.
Shoes on fire.
This part?
It is, I see it. Wow.
You want to make sure if it's rainy or windy, you protect it. Gust of wind could blow it away. Moving this too quick could make it stick to my foot and throw it all over the ground.
The yucca stinks.
Yucca?
Yeah.
Show you some.
So that was
That's
yucca
stupid.
on yucca.
Yucca. Yucca, yucca.
So that rock on top was just to steady it for you, right?
Yeah, it's to hold it in place.
So you can push pressure.
Wood ones work, but the wood ones tend to burn through eventually.
See, he's loving it, guys. He's being nice to her. I taught him that they're fires, you gotta treat it like a lady.
Exactly.
Whew. She could be temperamental.
There you go.
Whoa.
Now,
I'm coming behind her.
make sure your stuff's out.
Aggravating.
Definitely want to make sure it's out. You can see it's still burning there. In the old times, when they traveled to their hunting camps, they didn't build a fire like this all the time because it might be like today, damp, windy. So they carry their coals in a horn, an animal horn, like a buffalo horn, little coals and a smoldering, burning wick that they could pull out and let the oxygen hit it, blow it on a few times, get it going. And they could keep that coals burning, they'd carry their fire with them. Sometimes vessels were made to carry coals to hunting camps and such. And so this could stay burning just like a slow burning match or a wick. So we'll make sure that's out. And then we're going to show you some pretty neat stuff. How nature gives us everything that we need. And if you guys make it here in the summertime, I have a class called The Woodsman, and it's all about living off the land. And it's a pretty cool class. It's about a 2-hour class. We have an afternoon class. It's a primitive cooking class where you'll get to cook all kinds of primitive foods, meats on ovens made out of rocks and pits. And that's usually a pretty cool class too. So if you guys come back in the summer to Camp Lenoche, remember we're here. We're one of the few camps that has a Native American village. And what I've set up here this week is just a small example of this. We usually turn this room into a full museum with artifacts everywhere, just like you see right there. So it's a really exciting